Okay. She says they're
Okay.
broadcasting now.
Okay. All right, ladies, thank you so much. We're about to start.
Yeah, because I've just told her. She says they're broadcasting.
Yeah, meeting on the yeah, me, madam. Yes.
Okay, we are at 80.
Okay.
They're coming in pretty fast. Just a few seconds, then we can start. We have almost half the quorum coming in.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we're at 90 right now. I think we can start. Good afternoon, everybody, and especially to our Female Future Network who have joined in today, especially to mention our participants from Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Norway, and Humgun, Kenya. So this afternoon, my name is Mary Nyaga, the Female Future Coordinator at the Federation of Kenya Employers. I'll be your moderator for this afternoon for this particular event, and I'm delighted to take you through this program and to host you to this formal event. So we are pleased to host women in senior leadership roles present to this launch. We want to say thank you for accepting our invite. We recognize our guest speakers today, especially Ms. Christine Skogen-Lund, our Executive Director, CEO, Jacqueline Mogo, Federation of Kenya Employers, at the Federation of Kenya Employers, the Norwegian Ambassador to Kenya, Ambassador Ellen, and our alumni country representatives speaking today, and most especially all of you, ladies, leaders rising to the top. Last time we met, we had our guest speaker from our sister organization, the Confederation of Norwegian Enterprises, to talk to us about leadership at a time of a pandemic. Now, today we are coming together to form a larger network by building better in the spirit of female future. And we are thoroughly pleased to be launching this International Female Future Alumni today with all of you. So thank you all so much for joining in. And to start with, we'll have to start with our housekeeping as follows. So please ensure your mobile phone and other devices are on silent mode, or alternatively, you can switch off your devices. Please keep your microphone on mute throughout the meeting unless you're asking a question, and there'll be an opportunity to ask questions soonest possible. We may not be able to answer all of them, but we will make sure we answer some of those questions today. Okay, so today, we will be having our chairperson of the Female Future Alumni, Joyce, who will step in and bring us all on board. So Joyce is the head of consulting at the Association of Manufacturers in Kenya. She's a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and she's a member of the Marketing Society of Kenya. She's a certified business coach and also a certified professional mediator. She is our president for the Female Future Kenya Alumni under the Federation of Kenya Employers, focusing on leadership development. So we would like to introduce Joyce. And Joyce, we hope to have you on board. Karibu sana. Joyce? Hello, Joyce. Hello, Joyce. Okay. Since she's not yet, she's in, but I think it's the sound that has a technical issue. Yes. Joyce, just check if you're muted. Okay, is she muted? Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, there was a sound issue. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, my name is Joyce, and I'm the Female Future President for Kenya. I want to, first of all, congratulate you all for the launch of the International Female Future Alumni. This is quite exciting. We've been looking forward to an international network, knowing that the course and the curriculum that we did was actually international standards and the certification as well. The Female Future program started in Kenya in 2013, and I was in the first cohort in that year, and we graduated in 2014. So far, year to date, we have 289 graduates from the Kenyan program, and from Africa, we're about 500. We are quite excited as an alumni in the Kenyan space to be able to integrate with the rest of Africa and the rest of the world. And we are grateful for this first step to launch this program. We are looking forward to more engagement in the international platforms and even look to utilize the competencies and the leadership capacity that has come through this program to be able to do various projects, some of which would be of personal development, others of mentorship to other younger women, as well as philanthropy in this society, looking at the challenges that are currently in place and the pandemic having brought in new opportunities for support and where women could come out strongly and support the society. Otherwise, I'm very grateful for this, and we look forward to further engagement and discussions in this launch. I now wish to invite the Female Future patron, Mrs. Jacqueline Mugo, also the CEO of FKE. I just want Mary to put the slide for Ms. Jacqueline Mugo. Hello. Ms. Jacqueline Mugo is the CEO of Female Future Kenya. She will be taking us through the next session. Welcome, Ms. Jacqueline. Mrs. Jacqueline Mugo?
Yes, Jane, I'm here.
Yes. Welcome. Please take us through the next session.
Yeah, our slide is stuck. Thank you very much for that introduction, Joyce. It's nice to hear your voice after a long time. I want to extend a very warm welcome to all of you on this occasion of the launch of the International Female Future Alumni Association. This is a dream that we are seeing come alive today. As Joyce has said, I'm speaking to you today as the patron of the Kenyan Female Future Alumni Association. The Female Future Leadership Development Program, which is run by the Federation of Kenya Employers, has been the outcome of a long-standing collaboration between the Confederation of Norwegian Employers, NHO, and the Federation of Kenyan Employers since the year 2012. I'm sure that many of you can attest to this win-win and great partnership and collaboration with our Norwegian sisters and brothers through the various program components that you have also been running. We are delighted to have this launch today so that we can have a meeting of minds and deliver on shared values at regional and international levels. At FK, we are also very delighted to host this event today. And again, I extend to you a hand of friendship across the borders, especially as we continue to face challenges brought about by the pandemic, which requires us to do more together for a better future. This network could not have come at a better time. I personally want to extend a warm welcome to Christine Skogen-Lund, our guest speaker, and also for a warm welcome to the Ambassador of Norway, who is a friend of the Federation. We thank you for taking your time. And for Christine, we really do look forward to hearing from you and you sharing with us your successful journey as a leader in these times. Today, we will also take the opportunity to graduate a cohort that has been waiting to graduate and has not been possible because of what's happening in the world today. That is our cohort 13, and we are delighted that all of you can witness them graduating today. It will be a brief ceremony, but we are sure it will be a memorable ceremony and event for them. Most importantly, we will have the opportunity to hear a few words from the alumni representatives of the 6 different countries who will give us a glimpse of what their journey of the Female Future Program has been like and what it has meant for them at an individual level and as a group. Because in the Female Future class, people make friendships and bonds that will last a lifetime. We hope to wrap up this session with the international network launched, and I want to encourage each and every one of you to participate in it after its launch to make it come alive. We want to acknowledge each and every one of you, and we want to acknowledge your efforts as you seek to rise to the top and to be leading lights as ladies in this time of much talk about women empowerment, and yet there are still many challenges to be met. Individually, I want to congratulate those who are graduating today at this event, and I wish them all the very best in their individual journey. I wish to acknowledge each and every country that is represented here today, and we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for attending. And we also want to thank the company sponsors who have continuously enrolled women across these various countries to join our program, because that is what has meant success for each program participating today. And the aim of bringing women onto the Female Future Leadership Program that is sponsored by these countries is to build their capacities at a personal level and at a professional level. I'm sure that you all who are participating today, and especially those who are graduating, will be our leading light in the future. So ladies, go for it. Again, thank you all very much, and we look forward to an enjoyable and successful event which will culminate in the launch of our international association. Karibuni sana.
Thank you very much, our Executive Director, Jacqueline Mogo. We would really like now to move on and to ask our guest from Norway, Tori, our International Development Partner, to come on board and introduce to us the International Female Future Association. Alumni, sorry, thank you. Tori, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you, Jacqueline and Mary, for the introduction. And good afternoon to everybody. I'm very proud and happy that so many women have decided to join this launch of the International Female Future Alumni. We are now from women from 6 countries, and that's really great. We had a plan to launch the International Female Future Alumni in Norway in March, but the pandemic of COVID-19 did not allow us to meet. But it didn't stop us, so we will launch the network today. NHO is the Norwegian employer and business organization, and part of our work is to cooperate with sister organizations like the African Business and Employers Organization present in this webinar. An international cooperation between organizations is very important. We have a lot of experience and knowledge of common interest to share, like, for example, the Female Future program. And international cooperation is also good for people, for personal growth and for sharing knowledge and networks. After all, it's all about people. NHO started the Female Future program in 2003. And since the inception, around 2,000 women have been trained in Norway under this program. And in 2010, the Female Future program was introduced to Africa, where we followed the same model from Norway and adopted it to local culture. We first introduced it to Uganda, then Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, and then Tunisia. And I'm sure we will introduce it to more countries. Female Future has trained at the moment over 500 women in Africa so far with very good results. And we think that Female Future has created an important meeting venue for women in both Africa and in Norway. So the International Female Future Alumni will connect people and be an interesting supplement to the national Female Future alumni networks. So the goal of the network is to establish international relations and networks for personal growth, motivation, and career support. We also want to increase more women in board and management positions by making the network available and recognized by national and international businesses. The activities suggested so far will be webinars, sharing articles and documents of special interest, maybe inviting members of the network for gender conferences as participants and also speakers. Maybe the national alumni networks want to work across the countries. And we have already established a LinkedIn group for sharing experience and documents and other comments. And please sign up for this network. The group has so far 100 members. I also think it's important to think how we can improve the visibility of the alumni network for the companies, for recruitment, of course, to board position and for management positions. There is a lot of possibilities and a lot of energy in this network, and we look forward to working together. It is now my honor to give the floor to Kristin Skogen Lund. She has a long experience from various leadership positions. Since 2018, she is the CEO of Schibsted's Company, which is a house of digital consumer services with brands ranging from online marketplaces to news media and other services. From 2012 to 18, she was the Director General of NHO, and maybe some of you have already met her because she visited both Uganda and Kenya and met with the Female Future participants there. Kristin has and still is a very great supporter of the Female Future program. She is sort of the mother of the Female Future in Norway, and that makes us very proud. So we are very happy and privileged to have you with us here today. So please, the floor is yours. So please, now the floor, I'll give it to Kristin Skogen Lund.
Tori,
Yes,
probably she's muted.
I don't know.
Because we haven't muted from our side.
Yeah, no, I have not muted her.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear you.
Oh,
yes, we do.
fantastic. Yeah. The thing just was spinning around here and we were like, oh, come on, come on. Okay, I'm on.
Yeah. Good.
Hello, everyone. And hi, Jackie. Good to see you again. And Tori, and very pleased to meet everybody. Congratulations to alumni, old and new, and also to the confederations for keeping up the great work. I think we can say that, oh, do you see me? No, you don't see me, do you?
No.
Now you see me as well, right? Okay, I'm figuring this out. No, I think the timing for Female Future could hardly be any better, could it? I mean, I think the urgency of improving diversity is just becoming so apparent around the world. So, and Female Future is such a good program for achieving precisely that. And it was very inspiring to work with the program when I was at the NHO. And I have to say, Tori, that our visit to Uganda and Kenya and listening to and meeting the alumni was one of my absolute highlights when I worked at the NHO. And I remember this particular phrase that one of the women said. She said something like, I think she phrased it so, so poetically. She said, I was a piece of clay, and then I did the Female Future, and I became the potter of my own life. And I just felt that was such a fantastic way of phrasing it. So anyway, I've been asked to just say some very few things about leadership in these challenging times that we are seeing in the world, and now also with the corona on top of everything. These are unpredictable and challenging times to navigate. But I think one thing that's really important to remember for all of us is we actually need to go about life and dare to make a mark. We shouldn't worry so much about sort of staying within the frames of expectations. It can be scary because we want to meet all those expectations, but if we focus too much on that, we might maybe fail to break the boundaries of our potential. And if you only stay within the frame of what people already expect from you, you're probably not really going to make a difference. In order to do that, you have to really blast out of that sometimes tight frame of expectation. And it can be risky and it can be very challenging, but all the more fulfilling if you actually achieve that. And I sometimes think that if you sort of stay on the beaten track, people are not likely to see your footsteps. But if you dare to step outside of that beaten track, they will show and they will plow new ground. And I guess that's what it's all about. The second thing is to really dare to, I think we all sort of have something that really drives us, something that we care deeply about, and that is our inspiration and motivation. And maybe find the courage to really dare to follow that and let that guide you in your choices and how you prioritize what you want to spend your time and energy doing. Let that purpose really guide you, and it will probably take you to a better place than you otherwise would have been. And my third thing is, I think we also need to find the confidence in the fact that we all have certain strength. There are some things that we are better at than others, and every human being has its uniqueness and special traits. And it took me a long time to gain that confidence. I was too concerned about fitting in and not sticking out, worrying what everybody would think, and I shouldn't offend this person and I should please that person. And I spent so much energy on all of that. But at sort of, I guess it was in my early 30s, I attended this leadership program, and the coaches there were very good at explaining to me that, look, you have this thing for leadership, and you should stop fighting that and worry so much about it. Why don't you just sort of release it and trust it and use it to do something good? And I started to become more comfortable with that identity, seeing myself as a leader and be comfortable about that. And it took me so long, and I just wish I could have reached it earlier. But basically, dare to trust your strength, not only as leaders, but in the way you lead. When I came to the confederations, I had all kinds of ideas about, you know, what was expected of a leader of the Confederation of Enterprise. It had always been an older man with gray hair, and I wanted to sort of fit into that. But I was different, and I had to do it differently. And that was the whole point of choosing me and not another man. You know, it was because, you know, I had to change and lead it differently. So I think that's a good thing to trust those instincts. The fourth thing I wanted to say is that I believe it's very important to understand the difference between what I would call success and victory, because we can sometimes feel that we should win a certain battle or, you know, attain a certain result. But if you don't go about succeeding in finding the balanced and sustainable solution that works for most people, sometimes at the expense of your own interest, you basically will not succeed in the long run. You will succeed when you let other people win and when you grow their confidence and let them shine. And as Harry Truman said, you can achieve anything in this world if you don't worry so much about who gets the credit for it. And there's something true in that, because the best recipe for success is actually other people wanting to see you succeed. And if you're good at sharing success and finding the balanced solutions, that is more likely to occur. And finally, I would just say that I think maybe especially in these times of corona and unpredictability, I would encourage you to dare to be open, communicate a lot to your people and your stakeholders, and be open to them about what you are certain about, but also what you are not so certain about. And as a leader, you can never know better than the collective sum of all the people you are responsible for. So to dare to reach out, get input, seek opposition, different point of views, understand why people disagree with you. You know, if you try to seek in that whole space of input, the chance that you end up at a good solution in a larger room of input, it's larger. So maybe those are my two keywords to leave you with. It's that openness, sort of encourage to seek out all the input, and it's the courage to really believe in your own strength and let them guide you. So everyone, good luck. I'm so happy to be able to speak to you, and I'm very happy to hear and see that the program is thriving.
Thank you very much, Christine. That was really great to hear from you. That's a pleasure. We're very happy to have hosted you. I'm sure you have time for just one question that could be coming up. Is that okay? So
Okay.
ladies, if you have a question, this is your time to raise your hand up. Raise your hand up one time. No questions coming up. A second time. And a third time. Okay, we have Sonia who's raised up her hand, and we're going to give an opportunity to Sonia to raise up her hand and ask the question. Sonia, you're very welcome. Okay. Yes, Sonia, you can go ahead. Sonia, can you hear us? Are you muted?
Sometimes.
Yeah, hello.
Sometime,
Yeah.
Hello,
Yes,
can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I said I'm Sonia Damak from Tunisia, and it's a great pleasure to be here in this launch of International Female Future Alumni. Thank you, Christine, for the presentation. There is a sentence that you said that really took my attention, and I would like to ask you about it. You said that believe in your way of leading, and actually as females we have different way of leading. So I would like you to explain more how you can believe more on your way of leading, and how can you try to position yourself among other kind of leaders. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it becomes a bit general, and my experience might not always be relevant for somebody else, but I had some instances where it happened sort of naturally. One was at the beginning of my time I used to be, as my first role at the NHO was as deputy president, and I was thrown into a debate, and I was extremely uncomfortable, and I tried to do it and run it the way I thought they would have done it, right? And of course, I wasn't really natural. I was uptight, and it wasn't really me. And then in the middle of it, I said, no, forget this, it's not really working. And I just dropped it and started to talk more as the business leader that I was back then. And this was in the financial crisis. And I took more the approach of talking about what it's like to lead a company in very uncertain time. I mean, not unlike what we are facing currently with the corona. And I think that just became a much better pitch and panel than if I had tried to fit into my sort of preconceived image of how I thought I should behave as a representative of the NHO. And I drove back from that scene thinking that, that went much better. And it wasn't because I tried to be clever. It was more because I was so scared of the whole setting. And I ended up, stopping trying to be something else. And I became myself and did it my way. And that, of course, worked a lot better. And some experiences like that has just made me comfortable in, go into a situation and do it your natural way. It's just so much better. And if that means you're more open than they're used to, and you're warmer than they're used to, and maybe you're more inquisitive than what they're used to, or maybe you ask too many questions, whatever it is. I mean, it's much better to do it your way. And if you are chosen as a leader, you are chosen for a reason. They want you to lead your way. And I think you should just have the courage to trust that.
Yeah,
Wow.
Thank you so much, Christine. Very clear. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Sonia, as well. Christine, thank you for answering that question. We just got one last question. And I like it when what you said was succeeding is when you let others win. There's a question here from Marian who's asking you to redefine again what the difference between success and victory is again.
Yeah, a good example from when I worked with the Confederation was, you are in constant negotiations and opposing interests from the unions at times, right? I had the opportunity on several occasions. I could have sort of forced through a solution that would have been more beneficial for the employer side. I found myself at times in a position of strength to do that. And I deliberately chose not to, because if I had done that, that relation would have come out of balance on that topic, and the topic would have resurfaced. Sometimes it happens in the court, labor courts or something. But I mean, the thing is, if you achieve a result that's out of balance in your favor, it's going to come back to you at some point. And if I instead at times was large enough to go for a more balanced solution, that relation overall was in a much better shape. And when it came to the really, really important and big battles, I believe that I was repaid for that, because then they trusted me, and I was able to also find those balanced solutions when the situation was maybe not so much in our favor. You understand? So, for example, when we then had an oil price crisis here in 2015, 14, 15, the unions actually came to, I was prepared for a very moderate salary collective bargaining agreement. And they came and they say, we're going to, we are willing to go for zero. And the only condition is that we go out and say it, that it's not your achievement, but it's our responsibility. And which was fine as long as we ended at the zero. And I don't think they would have done that to me and let me have that result in that way if I hadn't let go of some of those initial battles when the relationship was a bit more conflictful. So that's an example of it.
Wow, thank you very much. That's really good to know, and we're learning a lot from you. A great example. We have been very honored to have heard from you. We know you were going to take a short breakout. I mean, you had a very busy day, but thank you so much for taking us through this session. And now I would like to invite Anna Bahati from Tanzania, who is going to take us through her side of the story with her alumni. So we want to welcome you, Anna Bahati. Please come in on board.
Hello, ladies. I greet you all, our guest speaker, the alumni ladies from Tanzania, Kenya, Tunisia, Ghana, Norway, and I must say that this has been a day that we have been waiting for. For Tanzania, Female Future has been such a great journey for so many ladies, me being one of them, as I joined in as a young lady, not just as a Female Future coordinator, but also as a student of the Female Future program. And I won't want to say a lot more because today we also have our Female Future alumni chairperson, Angela Isabella Agnoti, who joined the Female Future program, and by the time she was about to graduate, she was promoted to the brand name change lead for then ABSA, for then Barclays Bank, but now it's ABSA Tanzania. So I would like to welcome Angela, and I think she will be the right person to share about our own journey here in Tanzania. Karibu sana.
Angela, do we have you on board? Are you muted? Kindly unmute.
Hi, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Hi. I'd like to congratulate everybody who's been able to get on today's alumni meeting and to thank you for the time. Most importantly, I'd like to welcome all the ladies from all the 6 countries and having the opportunity to meet each other, albeit virtually. So I've been given the task to talk about or to try to collate what the Female Future journey has been post the program, using myself and some other ladies' experiences within this forum. So as Anna has highlighted, I joined the program about a year and a half ago. And at the time I was battling between my career and whether I had made the right decision. So when I did join, I was actually at a point of frustration, trying to redefine my direction in my organization. So to summarize where I'm going to take us to, I'd like to just highlight 5 crucial lessons I learned from the program. So my first lesson was to expand my idea of a dream job. So prior to FFT, as I mentioned, I used to have a very narrow view of what my ultimate career would be and my ultimate job would be. So the program allowed me to revisit this and to look at what really meant, what success really meant for me as a person and as a woman in my community and as a member, as a female in my family. So I had to go through the exercise of breaking down what had been set in my mind for almost 10 years as what success is and what success would be in my eyes, and now define it for myself. And it also forced me to look out of the image of my immediate bosses or my bosses, my senior bosses' position as being my ultimate job. This opened up so many other avenues of me rediscovering so many strengths and also challenging myself to learn new skills. The second thing I learned was to pursue issues that matter to me and not everyone and not anyone else. So I began to redefine what was important as Angela and as a woman in the banking industry, as opposed to what was set previously. Remember, we're trailblazers, so we have also been put in an environment where most of the roles that are there have been predominantly male roles. So it's just killing the passiveness within yourself, the passive attitude, and looking at what really matters and the type of impact you'd like to bring into your organization. The next thing I learned, which is point number 3, was to be intentional about what I said yes to. The moment I started redefining myself and focusing on my career and what I wanted to be as Angela post the program, so many other opportunities opened up that on paper presented themselves to be ideal. So you find that you finally begin to break down barriers that you had set up either yourself or as a cause of your passive attitude. And when the opportunities start coming, you have to really be able to hold back for a moment and be intentional about what you're willing to pursue and what you're willing not to pursue. One thing I was willing to pursue is to ensure that I had a certain attitude when I entered the office every day, and I wanted to work with a particular type of team and have a particular spirit, which was to always question what is there and to try to do things differently for better results. So I had to be intentional about what I was being able to say, what I was saying yes to every time I tried to move forward in my new job. Another thing is I had to learn to not be afraid to take risks. And yes, it's a risk to be able to change careers or to move from one department to another especially during COVID times when it's uncertain of how our working situation is going to be once we fully begin to engage. But to have a healthy risk aptitude and to set aside certain fears by trying to giving yourself permission to do things differently than what you did prior is one thing that was able and enables me to be drawn to the right people and the right people to be drawn to support what exactly I've been looking for. My 5th point is accepting that change is inevitable. Prior to beginning the program, I refused to accept that things were changing. And I had such a difficult time to accept change because whenever I saw change coming about, I just saw it as another thing I had to overcome, another challenge I had to overcome, another skill I had to learn, another personality I need to deal with, another way of working I need to engage in. And this is my definition of success. So as mentioned by Kirsten, you have to be able to differentiate between what is success and what is a victory. Yeah, if success means that you are able to challenge yourself, you're able to contribute to a team and build towards that team's winning, that should also be considered a success as opposed to you continually holding the banner and being the one in the spotlight. So my biggest lesson, and the 5th one, as I said, is accepting change as being inevitable and being able to adjust to that. And finally, my bonus lesson has been feedback from colleagues and family based off the changes I have made. When trying to succumb to pressures prior and not having so much of a direction based off what I thought was career growth, the program made me, I think all of us remember the BB woman and the balancing of all aspects of our lives. When you look at that aspect, you find that there's certain areas of your life that suffer because you are so driven to achieving something, even if you're hitting a constant roadblock or setback. So constantly seeking feedback from family, from friends, from colleagues is something I've now taken up as a habit. Even when I am uncertain or I know the feedback is negative and it's going to be negative, it's something that I still need to know so that at the end of the day, I'm able to steer my direction and to ensure that we continue to grow. I continue to grow in the manner that I want to. So personally, these have been the challenges I've had. I was given 10 minutes. I hope I haven't gone over my 10 minutes. An additional thing I'd also like to add on is in terms of our Tanzania alumni, we have a very strong alumni of ladies who have been able to change and to make an impact in our industry just over the short period of the years that we've been running. The Alumni was only formed last year, but in terms of the program has been running. This is the 4th or 5th cohort that we're now going to graduate, is going to graduate later on this year. There's so much inspiration and so much knowledge within that group. And now the opportunity to share this with other countries and to build a bigger well of knowledge is something we're all looking forward to. And I think I would like to hand it back to Mary in case there are any issues.
Thank you, Angela. We're moving on to Uganda.
Thank you, Angela, for all those tips that you've given us. My name's Fatma Seriko from Uganda. The FFP was born in Uganda. It has a strength of 195 ladies who are change agents in this country. We are very glad to know that the Female Future has grown to this big after starting in 2011. And to share the experiences, I'd like to welcome Rose Taremwa, who will give us her journey of the Female Future program. Thank you. Over to you, Rose.
Rose, kindly unmute. Hello, Rose. Please unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Fatma. Good afternoon, ladies. Our guest speaker today, the FFP country coordinators, and all the alumni ladies from all the countries. I would like to thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share my experience through FFP. And I'm just going to briefly talk about how I joined FFP. I remember it was in 2015, and I attended the usual annual women conferences. And when I attended, I was just wowed by the organization, by the ladies that I met at the conference. And I said, this is all that I needed for all these years. And I remember going to the information desk to ask, how to join, when to join. And I took a year for 2016, and I joined in 2017, February to October, because I had to do self-sponsorship for myself. I will just try to go to my experience, my journey. At the time when I joined, I had joined an international organization called Biodiversity International as a country office manager. And this position was just new, it had just started. And they just needed someone who would come in and change a lot of things because there were a lot of conflicts to resolve. The environment was not a good one. And when I joined FFP around that time, I sort of was at a time when I was discouraged at work because I said, I'm trying to change things and revamp things that I never created. But FFP helped me to look at it positively. And one of the things I remember that FFP really helped me with, and of course, even with the ladies that we were with in class, we did touch a bit on emotional intelligence, because around that time, I think my emotions used to be overwhelmed. I am someone who is a bit of passionate and I'm kind. So I did not know how to manage, conflicts and very hard stuff. But I stayed in there, I hung in there, and here I am. One of the other things that FFP helped me to do was to maintain a focused career. I used to be a typical millennial, after 5 years, I'm getting bored on a job, I need to move on and find something new. And this is my 6th year at my current job, and I'm happy to announce that beginning September 2020, I'll be moving into a global role. And this is actually as a result of how I was able to manage the office as I found it and in its current state where it is now, in a better position and better working environment for everyone. The other thing that FFP helped me to do was purposeful networking. I am someone who is very friendly. I have many friends. I get bored when I'm alone. I love to be with people. But I think I used not to do it in a purposeful way. So you get friends and you even don't know what value they add to you. But since I did FFP, my networking is very purposeful. I know this is a network that helps me with my spiritual life. This is a network that helps me with my financial. This is a network for my, social life, marriage, different networks for different reasons. So for that, I remember even when we were still doing FFP, I exited most of the groups and I cut out so many other networks that I felt were not adding value to me. The other thing that FFP has helped me with, and of course with the majority ladies that we studied with in the Uganda, is to think about various streams of income. I used to save, but I think I used to just save, not purposeful saving, maybe because sometimes you think you're still young, maybe you need to start later. But then FFP opened my eyes to know that you can actually start saving now than later. And some of the things that I've done for myself in the 2 years after, I've been able to invest in shares. I have been able to get myself a retirement policy. And these are things, that we used to discuss in class. And we also started commercial farming. I used to love farming, but I think I had never given it much thought until when I joined FFP. And the other thing that that FFP really helped me with was to do more what I love doing. One of the things that I love to do is gardening. I love flowers a lot. You don't want to believe, I've found myself visiting a bit of the older ladies that have flower gardens, and I go learn, and I've learned about different types of flowers because that's what makes me happy. So that is some of the things that I do. I also love traveling, but most of the times, as you can know, we are into these offices, you always wait for when there is a work trip. I started saving for my trips. If I want to go somewhere, I start saving from when the year is starting, and then I can actually achieve to sponsor myself and go where you need to go. That is something that I purposely also I have done. The other point that is I'm very passionate about, I remember when we were in FFP classes, we told about our stories. And one of the things that I was doing at that time, and I was not yet very sure on how to go about it, I had started supporting a group of professional women, but in terms of, supporting each other in terms of health, in terms of parenting, motherhood, and also talking about, marriages. So I remember during FFP, I shared that, and I got inputs from other ladies in class. And when I came back, I implemented it. So it is there, a very small group of women, corporate women. We meet quarterly and, share a cup of tea, support each other with different areas in our lives. And as I conclude, lastly, something that I have also purposed to do, and even when normally we meet with other fellow alumni ladies, is continuous self-development. I improved on how I read. I think I used to really love reading political books and also leadership books, but maybe I didn't have a purpose on why I was reading them. But now, because I know where I'm heading in my career, I know which books to read. So I've done a lot of reading books, and also personal branding in terms of, I remember we did, of course, how you appear and your wardrobe. I remember we talked and we had those small groups, and you throw away most of your things and buy only the things that you need and things that are good. That is also something that have done. And just lastly, I look at myself as an upcoming CEO in some coming years. And like I talked about, you know, purposeful career, you keep focused. We have an association, the Female Future Alumni Association for Uganda, and I serve on the board as a volunteer. And you know, it is also a platform where I am learning too much. I know we did a lot of board competences in class, but you know, practically doing it with other ladies, you know, adds a lot of value. So I am, as I conclude, I'm very, very happy and glad to belong to this international network. And I know this is just the beginning for some of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rose, for sharing your journey with us. We are indeed very encouraged. My name is Yvonne Asarieboa, and I'm the coordinator for the Female Future Program in Ghana. Ghana is still a baby in female future because we are just 8 months old, and we've just had some 6 sessions. We don't have an alumni yet, but we have with us one participant, Emma Morrison, who will be sharing her journey with us. Emma will be sharing her career journey with us this afternoon, and also her experiences so far with FFP. I am privileged and I have the honor to invite Emma to take the floor. Hello, Emma. Emma, I think you have to unmute yourself. Hello, Emma.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Great. Thank you so much, Yvonne. I must say though, I mean, listening to Rose, Christine, and Angela has been so heartwarming, you know, because I can identify with a lot of things that they have said. You know, I'm a journalist, but telling my story has never ever been easy. For some reason, anytime I tell it or think about it, it gets so hard to tell and more complex. I've told so many stories though, but they have never ever been my stories. They're always somebody else's stories, other people's stories. And I've worked in different positions in media for 23 years, and it's been such a roller coaster. So many downs, so many downs, and the ups have actually canceled out the downs. It's been really good. There's also a lot of talk about, there is a lot to talk about, but I will start from just about a year ago when I found myself in what I initially felt was a very awkward position. I had been promoted to a new position that had been created. So I was actually the first person in that position, and it was so daunting. The company wanted to streamline operations and further a convergence agenda it had been driving for quite a number of years, a few years actually. But let me tell you a bit more about Multimedia Group. So I joined Multimedia Group from another media station where I had worked for 16 years. Over there, my boss had jumped me 2 or 3 positions to become general manager there, when I actually didn't think I was ready for it, but he felt I was. It was a huge challenge for me. And there were so many things that I had to learn on my own. So that was just one TV station, but coming into Multimedia Group, Multimedia has 3 TV platforms, 6 radio stations, 2 major online platforms. So you can imagine it was a much bigger place. And I felt that, yes, it's a challenge. They actually called me in to run a project for them for 2 years. It was about children's news, bulletins, and content. And I found it very exciting. It wasn't something I had done before, but I felt that, yes, this was a new challenge for me. And I was supposed to be there for just 2 years. But then I ended up being there for 8 years. And within that 8 years, I had held like 4 positions already. You know, the most recent being a general manager for the Joy Cluster. And the Joy Cluster is actually made up of all the Joy brands, radio, TV, online, everything, digital. So it was a huge thing. So there I was trying to cut a path, analyzing what needed to be done and what strategies to use. And then I was nominated to take part in the FFP. I was so excited because right away I felt that this is something I really, really needed. So joining the FFP, I had 2 things in mind that I wanted to use the program to achieve, because there I was, you know. 1, to be an effective leader of leaders. That was so key, because when the company streamlined and put me in this new position that I had to cut the path for, I was actually at the same level with a number of managers who I had worked with across. But then I all of a sudden became their boss. And they were running the TV, the radio aspects of the business. So for me, the challenge was, how do I effectively lead these leaders who are incidentally all male? And then also transformational change and drive a sense of purpose. How do I drive a sense of purpose? And I was thinking about the issue of transformational change, because it was key to everything that we were doing at the business at that time. And I learned 4 stages of transformation. And you know, there's always this resistance to change. So the first stage is resistance to change. A lot of people don't like change. We don't like change. But then how do we overcome that change? And then there's the period, you know, where people go, So it's either they go, or it's that they are, okay, let's see what goes on there. And then there's the aha. And then, of course, the last stage is, of course, it is. I learned this from a book that I had been reading, and it was Preparing for a World That Doesn't Exist Yet, by Rick Syme and Neil Richardson. It was an interesting book to read, and I felt that this was also something that really helped me. So over the years, as I climbed the ladder in what was a male-dominated world, I realized that the higher I got, the more I needed to prove myself over and over and over and over again. It became really tiring, but you know, I'm sure many of you can have experiences and can relate to this as well. In recent years, though, more women are getting into top positions, and that's a really, really good thing, especially in the media. I worked hard to gain the respect of my male colleagues, often doing work no one wanted to do, always having to go the extra mile, always doing this and that, you know, doing it my way. So when we drew our Marshmallow Woman, you know, when we started the FFP last year, late November, you know, we were asked to draw this Marshmallow Woman, which you were looking at how much time you allocate to work, family, leisure time, health, sports, and everything else. I realized that mine had a very, very, very big head. It had a very big head. That means I was dedicating a lot of time to work, a lot of time. Work was taking up most of my time. So I had very little time for leisure and hobbies and health. I was not really surprised about this, but it was really a wake-up call though. So to try to balance this out, I started delegating a bit more, held supervisors accountable more, drew up a roster for weekend supervisors, took a keen look at how to improve my health, and slept more. Because as you know, media is a 24/7 job. I mean, there are no holidays, there are no weekends, you're always on the go, you know, and you sort of slip into the way of working that doesn't really suit, you know, how you should be to improve your health and get more leisure and time. And then that work-life balance was really missing for me. So I really had to work at it, you know, and see how I could get more time for myself, get more time for leisure, and also think about all the hobbies and also keep healthy. Now, one of the other topics or modules that we did, of course, was leadership. And the first thing that we were asked to do was taking a look at who you are. So the question is, who am I? Who am I? And I have never been able to answer that question properly. But I mean, here I was confronted with this same question as the first assignment for the program. I realized I had been trying to answer it the wrong way, because who am I really? And I really never sat down to think very carefully about who I was and how who I was would impact what I was doing. So I'm looking at the question with new eyes, looking at the strengths, resources, development areas, values, personal authority, success stories, feedback, and role analysis. And then what is it that I want to do? Visualizing personal goals, career choices, and plans, and how, obviously, to get there. You know, self-development and networking is really, really key. And of course, self-promotion. These are some things that a lot of women I find don't do very well. Self-promotion is so, so important. So these questions help me to map out a plan of action to make my role effective. And while I was using these tools for myself, I also encouraged my team to think through these questions to couch personal development plans, which then made it easier to drive a sense of purpose aligned with the company's goals. Then something else happened, of course. It also became obvious to me, and this is what happened. It also became obvious to me that I needed to do more in media, help reshape the industry, and push for more professionalism and development of skills and capacity, you know, in the journalistic practice. I mean, it's so lacking that I really, really wanted to focus on this. While going through, identify who I am, I sort of realized who I am and what I wanted to do and how I should do it. So because of this, I no longer work for the multimedia group. I left, I moved on just about 3 weeks ago. Actually, it was on my birthday. It was kind of a rebirth for something new and exciting. Still in the media though, but it was not easy to take that decision, but it felt right at that point in time. And I felt that, yes, I should go with my instinct. This is it. This is what I really want to do. I enjoy doing things like this. I enjoy mentoring. I enjoy building people's capacity. I enjoy development work. So I thought, okay, look, let me just move on. So that is what happened. This is what the FFP did to me. So I made sure not to burn bridges though with my former employers, because you never know. I may need to get back there. I may need them to employ me again. But then I also didn't want to burn bridges, because I knew that I could also offer them my services. And one thing that they actually told me, because obviously they paid for this program for me, is that they really want me to come back and impart the knowledge and my experiences to other people there. And I think that is a good thing. And I'm really willing to do that. So, and people were asking me why did I want to move on? My employer asked me why. Everybody was asking me why. And I told them I wanted to do my own thing. Still in the media, as I said, training and development. It has been something I had wanted to do for a while, but never took the step. But the FFP helped me to take this step and to take this risk, a calculated risk though. And I believe that this is really something that has really helped me and is going to shape what I do moving forward. So I believe the FFP gave me the courage and the push to do what I wanted to do. I had wanted to do it for so many years and I just hadn't done it. And then all of a sudden a light bulb just went off in my mind and that was it. So I sort of feel it's a kind of rebirth for me. Still in the media though, but in a different kind of capacity. I feel that I had left a legacy in other people's dreams. So why not leave a legacy with my own dream? Why not? I want to leave a legacy with my own dream. And it has been an exciting program so far. And one module I'm looking forward to for more is board competence. I've never been on a board before and I asked myself, why not? It was an interesting and inspiring first session and really got me thinking about positioning myself effectively to get onto a board, a proper board, a board with integrity, you know. And then chatting with some of my colleagues from the program, I realized that they wanted that too, and they were eager for that. We all sort of saw opportunities, you know, it opened our eyes to what we can do and what we can achieve. We can achieve more than we actually have been achieving. So I believe we can support each other with this. We'll continue to do so. Like we just started this program last November, just at the end of November. We've just had a few sessions, but we keep in touch with each other. And I think that we can do more to support each other. So one of the best things that this program has done is allowing us to get to know ourselves, getting to know each other, sharing our experiences, learning from each other, and forming great relationships and support system. The coronavirus pandemic came at the very wrong time. It was such a wrong time. It has kept us apart, but then technology, we've used technology to stay together, but you know how it is, face to face, as they say, is better than anything else. But I look forward to the continuation of the program and to work with everyone once again. But my takeout so far, really, and I want to share this, I'm sure that everybody can identify with it, is always know who you are, what you want, and what you want to do, and how you're going to get there. Position yourself for whatever you want to do. Learn to communicate effectively using everything at your disposal, everything. You've got a solid network, and I've heard Rose and Christine and Angela say this as well, you know, building a solid network, the right network, the effective network, being deliberate about it is really, really good. So, and also don't avoid office politics. Learn how to play the game. I used to avoid office politics and say, no, I don't want to do any politics, but then there's nothing wrong, you can't avoid it, but you have to learn how to play the game. And then also beware of the danger of a single story. That was a TEDx talks by Chimamanda Ngozi, and it was so great. And then also, there is always a way. There is always a way. Find it. There is always a way. Nothing is impossible. I want to say a big thank you to our wonderful facilitators, Madams Esther Koba, Abigail Opoku-Mensah, Vicky Rekwando, Mariam Bano, and Dr. Edu Entry. They've always been great. They're such a great group of people. And of course, Yvonne of the Ghana Employees Association, who has been coordinating everything that we do. I want to end with the quote, and it's an anonymous quote, actually. It says, don't wait for opportunity to come knocking on your door. Go out and give it directions. Thank you very much. And I look forward to more from this program. I eagerly await it to help shape the new direction I'm going in now. And I know that it's going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Emma, for telling your journey. It was really exciting.
Thank you.
My name is Ingunn Christiansen. I am part of the NHO Female Future team, working at NHO. I am glad to introduce the next speaker. That's Marianne Carlsen. She's the CEO from Sarpsborg Næringsforening. She has previously worked as the business development manager at the Sarpsborg company Infotjenester, and she has worked internationally for many years and has a long experience as general manager. She's a graduate economist and holds a master degree in organization and management from the Norwegian Business School. So, very welcome, Marianne Carlsen. The floor is yours.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear.
We can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all. I'm happy to be here and happy to see some familiar faces which I met when I was in Ghana this last year and also the year before in Tanzania. It was a pleasure, and it is a pleasure to be part of this great group of beautiful ladies and working really across the world, that you see that people are different, but we are also so much similar. And there are differences in organizations, but there are also a lot of similarities when it comes to the different challenges that we are facing and that we are working to, what we are working to achieve. If I should go back to where my journey with Female Future started, it was actually back in 2008. That was one of the first programs that the NHO ran. And I was at the time working as a sales and marketing director for an international company into the pharmaceutical industry. I was traveling quite a lot in Europe, US, and Asia. And I really enjoyed my job, but I also always looking for new experiences. I guess I'm kind of curious to what will coming. And I always have asked myself what I would come when I grew up. And I'm still asking that question because I think this is a journey. It's so many things that we can do. And I really hope that there are a lot of things ahead. I had the background like you can see on the screen here, and as Ingunn told you. And a lot of these experiences, I think, come from being curious at my work. And then I was asked by my company then whether I would join this Female Future program. And I said yes to that, and I'm very happy that I did actually. Because this is a good place and opportunity to grow your network and to discuss different challenge with people who are somewhat similar to you, but still different. I've had, after I graduated from the Female Future program, I was asked to be a mentor for some female gründer startup companies. And also I started wondering what I would really like to do, not just because of the program, but of course the program gives you a lot of insight, both in yourself and into other companies, people, what's happening. So it makes you even more curious in a way. So then I started working as a CEO for a technical company with almost only male workers. And I think that was pretty good from the owners to actually dared to hire me for that position into a very male dominant position and business. But I also think it was very good because I stood up. So in a way I was different. And exactly like Kristin said earlier on also, you have to be and lead the way you are leading because you are different anyway. So don't be afraid of being yourself, but do it the way you do it. And you are hired for a reason. Someone has seen you. So someone believes that you can do a good job. So I worked there for some years, and also in that period, I really saw that people matters. I saw that each and one of the people in the company and my employees and the leaders I had also in my organization, to help them do a good job with their people. That was what really grew our organization. And then I can see what I gained back from both from the Female Future program and from other programs, that you have leadership training, you have good discussions in an open climate where we would like to cheer for each other, to help each other do a better job. And also what I really liked with the Female Future program, which also was mentioned earlier here, was that you really get this board competence. Because when you have been working in a company for some years, you also would like to get to use the knowledge you have, and also to look into other companies. And I have been lucky to have different positions, board positions in different companies, both in the private sector and also in the organization sector. From one of the top football teams in Norway, I have been on board of that company for some years. Of course, different challenges when you are working in a very system where everyone has to do with winning. That's really the victory that counts when you are out on a football field. And I've also been into other organizations where it's much more about getting that success. And also, even if you are on a football pitch, you don't get success on your own. It is the team that delivers. And that is what I've seen for many years in many different organizations. So when I've been working in companies, you see that doing changes, developing people, developing the organization is really what makes the difference. And I think that what also made me change during my career, after having been CEO for some years, I started and had like 5-6 years when I was working with leadership training. I was developing leadership programs, organizational development. I was traveling to different organizations and companies mainly in Norway, but also some foreign, and working with developing them. And also I have been lucky enough to go out with the Female Future programs, meaning that I've been to some of your countries and working with your good people and your good trainers. And that's really being able to help out, but also to learn yourself. Because the big difference is really also what help you develop yourself. I think that has been a very good thing of being part of the Female Future program and the Female Future network. We started very early developing a alumni in our part of Norway within our few groups where we started there, and we see that this should grow and develop. So I'm very happy that we are now starting out this international Female Future alumni, because we can learn and share with each other. And for me, I think that having been through this, working with developing companies, developing people, I've changed my position like less than a year ago, and now I'm working as a CEO again and developing more different business and communities in the area where I live. So now I'm also working with the politics and also with people to develop and change and have some influence in creating this even better environment. And I think all this has come because of my curiosity, and I would always like to develop myself and others. And I also think that Female Future has been an important part of it, because it has given me some tools, and it has definitely given me a lot of network, which I have been using. When you are a CEO, it's quite a lonesome job in a way, because everyone is underneath you in the organization. It's no one at your same level. So being able then to have a network of people in same positions that you can discuss with certain issues which you cannot discuss in the open, that has also been a very good thing to have, which has been developed through this Female Future network. So I think that if I should, in a way, not summarize, maybe, but look into this, some reflections, I think that what has been really good to me then is that it is this formal, you have the formal background, but you get some more addition to your formal education in a way, to have this formal board competence, which I think is important. You need to know the differences, and even though there are different laws in different countries, there are certain ways of working to do a good job as part of a board or as part of the management group. I think we are even stronger when we do this together, because we learn from each other. And I think every trip I have been to outside Norway, throughout the world, I've always learned something about the differences and the similarities. And I also learned that when I've been working with training people, a training organization, they always tell me that, you know, we are so different here. We are very different. Okay, I say, yeah, what's special about you then? And then they started telling, and I realized that yes, you are different, but you are also very similar. And the people in your organization, no matter where you are in the world, people are similar. We all want to do the best we can. We want to develop, but we are acting in certain ways because we want to feel secure. And some of us want more challenges than others, but we are still looking in for the same directions. So I think that we are working in the right direction. I think it's very good that we are working together, developing this together. And I think that what I would say to all of you is to contribute wherever you can. Take the challenges. If someone challenges you, take it if you feel it's correct thing to do for you. Think, what is this to me? What does this mean to me? Is this the right thing for me to do? And I think that all of us in the positions we have, each and one of you also, you are an example for a lot of women or female or other workers also around you. So use that in a good way, because you can actually make a difference. And also have faith in what you're doing. I'm pretty sure you will make mistakes. We all do. And that's quite okay, because we learn from the mistakes we do, and it's okay to do them, but try to not do the same mistake again. And also think that when you have people in your own organization who do mistakes, talk to them, but ask them, what happened here? What can we do to make this better the next time? Because that will develop your people and it will develop yourself. So I think this is the main thing I would like to share with you. I hope I will be able to see you again and see some of you which I haven't met, either in Norway or other places, that we are past this corona situation, that we could be able to meet again. And I think one of the most important thing I will take back from the Female Future work ongoing is actually the network. To get to know people, learn from each other, develop each other. So I wish you all the best, and I'm looking forward to be part of this Female Future International Alumni in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne, for your presentation. I am Mona Elmi from Utica, Tunisia, and it is a great honor to be part of the Female Future family. As far as we are concerned, our experience, which is the first cohort, has been very exciting. I would like to confirm and insist upon our full commitment to the Female Future alumni. We are interested in exchanging and learning more about your experience in the management of this training and essentially the sustainability of this project. This project through which we offer to women working in corporates and to corporates and therefore to private sector skills and know-how, a new way of managing that only women have the gift to conduct. I want to present Mrs. Lamia Boujam'a, a Tunisian businesswoman and the best ambassador of handicraft and Tunisian agriculture, the two most important economic sector for Tunisia. Lamia was part of the first FF training, Tunisian FF training. So I give the floor to Mrs. Lamia Mejoul, founder of Art and Art Company. Lamia Boujam'a. Hello. Lamia, the floor is yours. Marie? Lamia? Hello, Lamia.
Are you here? Do you hear me? Yes?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Do you see me now?
I am hear you, but no, I don't see you.
Yeah. Is it okay? I have to push on air on rec.
We are hear you, but we don't see you, Lamia.
So we learned that even with the voice, we can give a lot of message. So
thank you very much.
Not a problem. So thank you so much, ladies, for these inspiring thoughts. Thank you, Monet, for your kind introduction. And I hope you and your families are doing great. So as Mouna said, I'm Lamia from Tunisia. Today, I'm especially happy to share this moment with you. First, because we are in the same continent. And this program starts from Africa. So it's a beautiful start. Thanks to NHO, we receive from the far north beautiful ways of positive energy and human warmth. I would like to let you know that in our country, each present person taking part of FFP as participant or future trainers has found answers, means, ways, or tools to empower or to rise the inner leader. It was an introspective of ourselves, and in the same time, we learn from each other with a very positive energy, and in a few days, friendly connected until now. It's just a miracle. The second thing I want to say that I'm especially happy to share this moment because of the timing. Now, and more than ever, the FFP is needed. During the crisis, world after the virus is different. Yes, because it's different. The efficiency and the FFP is stronger, powerful, and take its full meaning. During the crisis, do you remember, we all talk about social distancing. But now, on the contrary, I think we need social bonding. We will bring people who are diverse together. And because we need social bonding, we need active listening, we need meta-communication and other notions we learned. For example, when we realize in that time that sometimes it's important to stop and to make distance with our lives, it is not a meta-communication as we learn in the FFP. Second, what really reminds us that virus, that we are all connected and something that affects a person has an effect on another. So it's important to listen without judgment. It's a part of the FFP. It is not a part of the FFP, the active listening we learned. The way we learned to give a feedback without hurting, but to support each other, to help, to share and to give. Another point, that we are all equals, regardless of our culture, religion, occupation, financial situation. Is it what we found in the FFEP program? I mean, our place in the group? Our true work is not our job. That is what we do, not what we were created to do. It is not the anchorage we learn during now more than ever. We hope that the FFP will be duplicated and seen by as many nations as possible, not only in developing countries, but also in the others where women are struggling to achieve. And this program should attend every woman in different positions aspiring to be a leader. First, to those who have power in their business to become a force of opposition, and to those who have more difficult conditions to control their destiny and have a decent life with the notion of rhetoric and personal growth. It's possible. They will spread and ensure a sustainable economic growth and give balance in society. So to conclude, the best heritage we can leave to future generation is a peaceful world. And one of the powerful key is certainly women. Norway has always been historically an inspirational model in the world for peace. This FFP, is it a glance? So it was, I finish now. And I would like to thank, a special thanks to Maureen and Laura. It was not an easy task to touch such a different public.
Thank you very much, Lamia. Very interesting to hear from you in Tunisia. This is Joyce again from Kenya, the Female Future President. I'd like to introduce Nancy. Nancy will give her story and her experience in Kenya after going through the Female Future Program. She is currently the CEO of Zanaka Consulting, and she will be telling us her story. Nancy Karimi. Nancy Karimi, please take us through your journey.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon to you.
Good, I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me clearly?
We can hear you. We can hear you clearly.
All right.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. All right. First I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity and to congratulate
The sound, Nancy, we can't hear you. There's no sound from your end.
Okay, now you okay?
Yes, we are.
All right. I'm saying I'd like to thank this opportunity to just give my short story about what I learned through the Female Future program. I joined at a time when I was already a CEO. So at the time I was joining, I was not very sure what I would gain from the program, because initially it was started as a program to prepare women to sit on boards. I was already sitting on a board. What attracted me most to the program was that it was purely designed for women, and something that is designed purely for women obviously will have something different. It will focus mainly on how a woman should carry out her duties, how you manage our jelly bean. You remember the jelly bean? And we realized that all of us, our jelly beans were very skewed. So either we put too much attention to work, too much attention to family, without a balance. So the experience that I went through interacting with other women who are also senior women in their various organizations, or whether they are doing their own business, that helped me shape my life, helped me to do my jelly bean to be a lot more balanced. And I'm glad to say it's a lot more balanced right now. I left formal employment in 2014. Since then, I've basically been doing my own business, running a consultancy, and I've been able to interact with very many ladies in very different capacities. And I'd like to say that what I learned through the Female Future has really come in handy. It gave you a different perspective in terms of confidence, in terms of how you sound, how you present yourself, how you get people to listen to you and to hear your message. So I'm very, very glad that I actually went through the program. I'm glad to be a member of the Female Future Alumni in Kenya, but a little disappointed that we really haven't done much. I hear there are 289 graduates. That's a huge number of ladies, that we can draw a lot from each other. Sometimes you're looking for something little, some little advice here and there, some program you need to run, and yet within the Female Future Alumni, I'm sure we have the capacities in there. So I am hopeful that with the launch of the international one, we'll also be able to strengthen the Kenyan chapter, so that we're able to just strengthen one another. There's a common saying that women are their own worst enemies, but I always believe that that is something coined by men to keep women from supporting each other, because I know women are very, very supportive of each other. And I've seen it in very many different spheres of my life. So I am ready and willing to be a part of this international Female Future Alumni, just as I am part of the Kenyan one. And I hope that this time we'll be able to get ourselves moving forward and get something working within the Female Future Alumni in Kenya. So as I continue doing my consultancies and as I continue interacting with women, I am hopeful that we'll be able to share with one another, grow each other in our various spheres, and get to encourage those who are upcoming professionals, especially the younger women, because times are also tough right now. We know, especially after the Corona season, after Corona is with us, a lot of things have changed at the workplace. A lot of people have been let go. So a lot of people are trying to find their feet. They're not quite sure what's going to happen. But I want to say that even in the midst of all the uncertainty, we are there to support each other, and we should be able to do that, especially through this network of alumni, which brings us under one common umbrella. So again, I want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I certainly look forward to great things happening as we come together as the alumni. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, our chairperson, and our secretary. Our chair is Joyce, and our secretary is Nancy. We have a job to do, as you have said, Nancy. Thank you very much. And now I would want to bring in my executive director to bring in those cohorts. She'll be mentioning the cohort that the names of those who will be graduating very briefly. And then from there, my president for the alumni, Joyce, will come in again. So Jacqueline Mugo, our executive director.
It is now my distinct honor and privilege and pride to present to you the ladies from cohort 13 who are graduating virtually today. And I'll just read their names as they appear on the list. Agatha Kamuge, Catherine Wangare, Caroline Kuria, Caroline Wambugu, Helen Wasike, Grace Mwamba, Leila Mwaura, Priscilla Ukwako, Rose Mombo, Shali Muhati, Sylvia Karaba, Susan Derito, a strange entity has appeared on my screen. Rhoda Wairioko, Caroline Wagithi Wanjohi, and Isabel Wangeshi.
So congratulations, ladies, from all of us, not just from Kenya, but from Uganda, Tanzania, Tunisia, Ghana. You are very, very welcome into the new phase of life after Female Future. And Grace, Joyce Njogu, I'm calling you in just to welcome this new cohort into the alumni.
We are so grateful. Congratulations, cohort 13. It's quite an achievement to go through that self-exploratory journey. Most of us have quite exciting experiences of discovering our dreams, our weaknesses, our personalities, and how we fit in within the ecosystem of the different networks available to us. We welcome you to join us in the alumni of the Kenya chapter, the regional and international network. And please help us to grow the levels of commitment in reaching out to one another, growing each other, and
Okay, I think we have a freeze somewhere with Joyce, but if she can hear us, I'm sure she wouldn't mind me completing. I may not know what she was going to say, but it was just more to say, congratulations, cohort 13. You're very welcome to the larger community, the huge tribe from all over the world. And we are hoping that we're going to be very engageful in this particular series. So to move on, as we are still keeping time, and I'm glad we are going to move to Uganda again, where we'll be having a call to action to the international alumni, basically hearing what Uganda have done with the Alumni Association, and also picking a leaf here or two, just to be able to see how we're going to forge our larger international community. So here we are. We would like to welcome Josephine Makumbia. Josephine, are you in? Josephine? Hello, Josephine?
Wow.
Do we hear Josephine?
Josephine is trying to get in. She says her connection is on and off. Wow.
Okay.
Josephine.
So Fatma, maybe you'd want to introduce her as we wait to see if she'll come up on board.
Okay.
If not, you'll have to do the call to action.
Okay. Josephine is the Chief Executive Officer of Agriculture Business Initiative Uganda. She has been the chair for the Alumni Association. The Alumni Association has a board of 5 members. And Rose, like she mentioned, is one of them. The other members are also alumni from different intakes. What we do is we try to make sure that each intake has a representative, and it is registered body, an entity that operates on its own. It has been able to do a good number of activities, but mainly we ask members to join the association, and there's a fee to join the association, which helps the body to run its activities. So we do breakfast meetings, we calling speakers, and usually there are topical issues that we need to address. We find out from the ladies what is burning. Like some time back, we had lost 2 of our FFP alumni to cancer, and we thought we need to alert the ladies about the challenges of cancer and how we should go about it. And we got alumni who were doctors who also came in and spoke. And we also have challenges where the men say that they can't see the ladies, we need board members, so we call those influential ones and we represent and we ask institutions that appoint board members, we call them in and into our activities and show them the ladies, and we've been successful in getting them appointing alumni from the association. So it helps in achieving the objective.
Okay, seems like Fatma is muted. Maybe we can jump on to Josephine.
Is she on?
Yes, she's on.
Oh, good.
She's on. I thought you had muted, so sorry
You can
to
hear
interrupt
me?
you, but
yes,
yes, we can hear you.
I'm very sorry, but I think Fatma was representing us very well, and maybe I can just summarize in the interest of time. The Almnae has been in existence since, as a company has been in existence since 2015. But we have seen, I think that we've seen the most growth between 2017 and 2018, where we managed to double our numbers. But even then, with the doubled numbers, we are just about 20% of the potential. So out of the possible 200 ladies who have now come out of the program, we actually have about 40 of them. So we still have our work cut out for us to show our relevance as an association and to be able to bring on board the ladies. I think what I need to point out important is the value proposition that we sell, and it's the opportunity to join a network of women leaders, share experiences and access opportunities, just like Fatma was pointing out, especially for career growth and development. And there are examples of board roles. How can we give the connections? How can we be in the right places at the right time to give the right references? Then it's also an opportunity to mentor young female ladies, leaders, and we think that this is quite key. We were mentored, we were held up, we were supported, and we need to continue doing the same. And last year we had a very good engagement with an international network called Girl for Girls, started out of a Harvard ladies alumni, and it is going around the world. So we were able to get some girls to mentor as a team. And also it's an opportunity to participate in social responsibility activities. I think Fatma was also pointing out the issue of wellness for the ladies, but also the other ladies around us. So yes, there are challenges in running when you have many ladies who cannot give most of their time. They are very, very corporate ladies with very heavy schedules, but we are trying to come up with plans and support, like getting an administrator to see that we keep alumni alive and going. and we have seen some success in terms of getting exposure, supporting our annual general conference, which happens every year here, getting a board and career opportunities, and then also an M&E framework, which we are in the process of implementing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I'll bring us back home. I'm very happy we've kept time. I'm very excited, actually. I thought we would go way past 4:30, but we're running on quite well and smoothly. So we're coming to the end of our program, and maybe just to mention to our cohort 13 participants who graduated, your certificates will be ready for collection on Monday. Anytime from Monday, you're welcome to inform us that you'll be coming as well, because of the measures we're taking at the Federation in trying to keep everybody safe. So we are going to round up and ask Tori to come on board. Any announcements left out to you, Tori? And then we shall bring in our Executive Director to finalize on the event for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for participating. It has been really, really interesting. Thank you for sharing all your valuable reflections on personal experience. And I also want to thank FKE for organizing the webinar. We don't see the technical people, but we really appreciate that you are there to assist us. And we also want to thank Mary for leading us through the agenda and keeping time. And again, thank you to Jacqueline for always supporting the Female Future program. We really appreciate that. So today we have established the International Female Future Alumni. And now it's up to us, to all of us, to use it. We will, of course, do more webinars, and we encourage you all to come up with interesting speakers and how we can organize that, and special topics that you want to discuss. And please join the LinkedIn group. Just contact your National Female Future Coordinator, and they will link you up to the group. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, again, for sharing your experience. And we look forward to cooperating and to use the International Female Future Alumni Network. Now we are all connected. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Tori. Thank you very much as well for welcoming us and for appreciating all of us here. We have had a very good time arranging for all this as all country coordinators, and we're glad that it has turned out successfully. So I would want to invite our Executive Director, Jacqueline Mogo, who's also been, she was in the first cohort of the Female Future program, so she's our leader here in the Female Future program, to come in and bring in the closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary, and thank you for all the wonderful work you've done in making this possible. The brochure, the advert, the messaging that Mary prepared shows us women holding hands, wearing different colors, but coming together, joining hands to make each other better. I think that's the vision, that together we can make each other better, especially in these difficult times that we are all struggling to deal with the pandemic, to face the future, to still get ends meet. I want to salute the resilience of all the ladies who told their stories today. It was very moving. I've recently been part of a WhatsApp group of my former high school classmates of all ages, and it's unbelievable hearing the stories of those women. And your stories today remind me of that, the power of the women and their resilience. Earlier on, when our guest speaker was speaking, she talked about what I'm calling authentic leadership. Leading from your deep conviction as a person, not just being a people pleaser. It means you know yourself, what your gifts are, what are you passionate about in life. And that's a question I'm asking myself, given the stage of life I've reached. It's a question we must all ask ourselves at whatever stages, so that we are real as we live and we are also fulfilled, because you believe someone said that the jobs we do is just work, but we have a bigger calling, and that is really to find what you're passionate about and where you can make a difference. The Female Future program is about you finding your true self and giving back to the world. So let me congratulate those who joined this long list of wonderful women who graduated today. You said Africa had 500, now we have 513.
We are a total of over 500 ladies in the African
500
region.
ladies, but we've added the ones today. So it's been an honor for us to host this event, which has been made possible by a lady who loves dreaming called Tori. You dreamt this alumni association, and it's happened. We want to thank you for holding our hands, all of us, in this platform to make this possible in the last few years. And as you've appealed to us, let's get involved. Let's make the International Alumni Association come alive, and also the ones within our own countries where we are dreaming the alumni of the future that we want. So for us, it's really wishing you all God's protection and blessings, and wishing you well in all the various spheres of life where you are and where you're making a difference. So shine on. And we say goodbye, as we always say, kwaheri ya kuonana. Goodbye for now.